On a sunny day in May 2007, an 8-year-old boy is having a good time playing soccer with his friends on Komodo Island. Little did they know that their day would take a terrifying turn. As the kids enjoyed their game, Rudiharto needed a quick break. He headed toward a bush to relieve himself when, out of nowhere, a bloodthirsty Komodo dragon attacked him. The dragon violently shook the young boy until, horrifyingly, his body was torn in half right in front of his friends. Welcome to What Went Wrong. This is the story of Rudiharto Safina, torn apart by a Komodo dragon. Please hit that like and subscribe button right now and turn on notifications for more gripping episodes. Now let's rewind a bit to set the scene. In 2007, Indonesia was experiencing an exceptionally dry season. The scorching sun and lack of moisture made life challenging for the locals, who were eagerly awaiting the wet season. Komodo Island in particular was hit hard as it was less urbanized, allowing wildlife, including the infamous Komodo dragon, to thrive. Desperate for food, one of these colossal creatures ventured into the village. The dragon's target? Unluckily, young Rudiharto Safina. The attack was swift and brutal, leaving the community in shock. Komodo dragons, known for their unique and dangerous nature, became a threat that day. Despite being a rare species and a crucial part of the island's ecosystem, the dragons, driven by extreme conditions, turned into predators. Before we get into the story, let's quickly try and understand the behaviors of Komodo dragons while interacting with humans. Komodo dragons may exhibit curiosity towards humans, especially if they're in close proximity. They might approach to investigate or observe, but this behavior can escalate if the dragon feels threatened. They're territorial and can be aggressive, particularly during the breeding season. If a dragon perceives a human as a threat or an intruder in its territory, it may display aggressive behaviors, including hissing, lunging, inflating its throat, or even charging. They may exhibit the same warning signs before launching an attack. They're also opportunistic feeders. If a dragon associates humans with a potential food source or smells food on them, it may become aggressive in its pursuit of the perceived meal. Now, what happened on that day? Fast forward to that fateful day in May, and it was not just a chance encounter between a human and a predator. No, this time, the creature had a purpose. It was actively hunting. The weather conditions played a crucial role. The dry and scorching weather created a lean season for the animals on Komodo Island. With less vegetation for the herbivores to feed on, many perished, and some managed to migrate to other islands in search of sustenance. This left the only large predator on the island, the Komodo dragon, with a diminished food supply. As a result, the Komodo dragons, typically apex predators, became restless and ravenous. The scarcity of food drove one of these 10-foot monstrosities to venture into the village in search of a meal. Picture this, a 300-pound beast making its way into the community, hungry and on the prowl. On that particular day, Rudy was part of a group of about a dozen kids engaged in a spirited soccer game on the street. The children found immense joy in the game, their laughter echoing in the warm air. Little did they know, just a few meters away, concealed by a cluster of bushes, lurked the Komodo dragon that had stealthily approached the village in the early hours of that morning. Hidden beneath the dry foliage, the Komodo dragon remained unnoticed as dozens of people passed by, completely oblivious to the danger lurking nearby. Its perfect camouflage allowed it to blend seamlessly into its surroundings. The morning bustled with people on their way to work and engrossed in the early chores of the day, providing the predator with the cover it needed. It was hungry, incredibly so, but it wasn't foolish. Aware of the risks, the reptile refrained from launching an attack in a bustling street. It knew that attempting such a move would likely result in its immediate demise at the hands of vigilant humans. The Komodo dragon adopted a more strategic approach. It would patiently await the opportune moment when an unsuspecting individual got separated from the safety of the group. Having scoured the area for food for the past 2 days without success, the dragon faced a scarcity of its usual prey, deer and boars. Turning to humans as potential prey was a risky move given their danger, but desperation compelled the creature. The strategy was clear: exercise patience and wait for the right moment when one of them would inevitably come within its reach. Tragically for young Rudy, that crucial moment arrived sooner than anyone could have anticipated. After an hour of energetic play, punctuated by refreshing water breaks, Rudy found himself with a bursting bladder. Determined not to miss out on the ongoing fun, he called out to his friends, urging them to pause the game and wait for his return. With unwavering enthusiasm, Rudy sprinted as fast as his legs could carry him toward a cluster of bushes on the opposite side of the road, eager to relieve himself. Unbeknownst to him, the lurking danger lying in wait could not have asked for a more ideal target. The slender boy, fully absorbed in reaching the bushes, ran directly toward the concealed Komodo dragon. Rudy, engrossed in ensuring his buddies didn't proceed without him, didn't spare a glance at the ground beneath him. Had he done so, he might have chosen a different path upon spotting the coiled dragon. Yet his focus remained on the game, oblivious to the imminent threat that lay ahead. In a tragic turn of events, poor Rudy didn't even get the chance to undo his pants before the relentless beast sprang into action. His screams filled the air as the monstrous lizard not only bit into him, but pursued him with incredible speed. Rudy's entire body was hoisted above the bushes, the sheer force and velocity of the attack sending both him and the dragon several feet into the air. For what felt like an agonizing eternity, the onlookers, boys on the dirt street, and Rudiharto stood frozen in horror, witnessing the nightmarish spectacle unfolding before their eyes. Rudy and the dragon soared through the air, and as they descended from their airborne trajectory, the creature began violently shaking his head. The moment it tasted blood, there was no hesitation. It was determined to tear its prey to shreds in a gruesome display of blood and limbs, even before reaching solid ground. The impact upon hitting the ground was so forceful that the very earth beneath the kids and Rudiharto trembled. In an instant, Rudiharto, fueled by urgency, sprang into action. Sprinting toward the harrowing scene, he grabbed the soccer ball on the way. It was the largest object within reach. With precision, he hurled the ball at the raging lizard, but to no avail. The lightweight projectile merely glanced off the creature's back. The Komodo dragon continued its ferocious shaking of the screaming boy, resulting in the violent detachment of the child's limbs as he flailed helplessly halfway across the road. Undeterred, Rudiharto seized a fist-sized rock and hurled it with determination. Simultaneously, several more rocks were launched at the reptile from behind him. Rudiharto's swift and resolute action spurred the other boys out of their stunned state, prompting them to throw their own makeshift missiles at the formidable creature. Amidst the chaos, dozens of rocks filled the air, and before the boys could launch a second round, other villagers in the vicinity joined the fray. Armed with brooms, empty bottles, and anything else they could lay their hands on, they moved in. In the gruesome shower of blood, fragments of Rudy's flesh, dust, and the convulsing body of the creature intent on tearing the young boy apart, it became impossible to discern their targets. The relentless barrage finally registered with the beast, prompting it to release its grip on Rudy and search for the origin of the pain. As it looked up, it found itself confronted by some 20 people closing in, ruthlessly bombarding it with sharp objects that pierced its skin and inflicted searing wounds. Overwhelmed by the relentless assault, the creature had no choice but to retreat. With surprising speed, it turned tail and scuttled toward the deeper bushes, carrying Rudy's lower half with it. The villagers, united against the threat, had successfully driven the formidable predator away. The abrupt departure of the Komodo dragon left nothing but a trail of blood in the bone-dry earth. However, the aftermath revealed a grim reality for tiny Rudy. The monstrous creature had torn him in two from the waist down, leaving nothing but shreds of muscle and entrails. His legs and hips had vanished into the wilderness with his assailant. Astonishingly, he remained conscious, a testament to the severity of the ordeal. Rudy, now beyond the capacity for screams or words, gazed wildly at his neighbors as they rushed to his aid. His breathing became shallow and labored. Rudiharto, kneeling beside his nephew, took off his shirt in a desperate attempt to staunch the bleeding from the mutilated stump that remained of Rudy's body. Others swiftly followed suit, removing their shirts to assist. However, before Rudiharto could secure the fourth piece of fabric, a profound stillness overcame Rudy, signaling the tragic end to the young boy's ordeal. Among the multitude of Komodo dragons, distinguishing the one responsible for Rudy's attack became an insurmountable challenge. Despite searching for injuries inflicted by the rocks and glass bottles, they were unable to pinpoint the assailant. The creature had vanished, and after a week of relentless pursuit, the villagers had no choice but to abandon their quest. With most of its wounds likely healed, the elusive Komodo dragon seamlessly blended back into the population, rendering identification impossible.